Picture this: a muddy field in northern France, October 25th, 1415. King Henry V and his exhausted English archers are preparing to face death against 100,000 French knights in the Battle of Agincourt. But history is about to be rewritten in the most violent way possible. A blinding flash tears through the morning fog. Where the English army stood, there are now 300 US Navy SEALs, fully equipped with 2024 technology. This is SEAL team deployment. 3 rifle companies, heavy weapons platoons with M240 machine guns, Javelin anti-tank missiles, Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifles, combat drones for surveillance, and enough ammunition to start a small war. The French knights, encased in 60 pounds of steel plate armor, see what they think are peasants in strange camouflage clothing with no swords, no lances, no armor. They laugh. That laughter dies in approximately 90 seconds. The SEAL commander, call sign Viper, surveys the battlefield through thermal optics. He sees a sea of heat signatures stretching to the horizon. 100,000 armored men and horses forming a wall of steel 3 miles wide. The odds are 333 to 1. In medieval warfare, this would be called a massacre. In modern military doctrine, it's called a target-rich environment. The French begin their advance. A thundering wave of destriers, warhorses bred for size and aggression, each one carrying a knight worth a king's ransom in armor and weapons. They move at a trot, gaining speed, the earth shaking under thousands of iron-shod hooves. Distance, 2,000 meters. For a medieval archer, this is impossibly far. For a Barrett M82A1 sniper rifle firing 50 caliber rounds, this is effective range. The shot rings out. A French duke, riding at the front in gilded armor worth more than a village, suddenly has no head. His body stays in the saddle for 3 full seconds before toppling. The hydrostatic shock from a 50 caliber round doesn't just kill, it liquefies internal organs.
The headless corpse creates panic in the ranks behind. Knights are pulling reins, horses are rearing, but the mass behind them pushes forward.
They don't understand what killed him. There was no arrow, no bolt, just a crack of thunder, and their leader exploded. Distance, 1,500 meters. Now the M240 machine guns open up. 7 guns, each firing 950 rounds per minute. The physics here is brutal and beautiful. A 7.62 NATO round leaves the barrel at 2,800 feet per second. Medieval plate armor, even the finest Milanese steel, is designed to deflect swords and stop arrows traveling at maybe 200 feet per second. Against supersonic rifle rounds with hardened steel cores, that armor is decorative. The bullets don't bounce off. They punch through the breastplate, through the body, through the backplate, and often through the knight riding behind. This is called over-penetration. 1 bullet, 2 kills. The machine gun tracers, every 5th round, paint red lines through the air. Where the lines touch the French formation, knights fall in rows like dominoes. Horses scream, a sound that haunts every battlefield. Riders are thrown, trampled by their own cavalry. The charge is already breaking apart, and they're still 1,200 meters away. But medieval knights didn't conquer Europe by being cowards. These are professional warriors who've trained since age 7. The survivors lower their lances and kick their horses to full gallop. They're committed now, all in. Distance, 800 meters. The Javelin missiles launch. These aren't designed for humans. They're designed to kill 70-ton tanks. The Javelin uses top attack mode, flying up, then diving down onto the target. The warhead is a tandem-shaped charge that can penetrate 30 inches of rolled homogeneous armor. A horse and rider have no chance.
The missiles don't just kill individuals. The blast radius and fragmentation turn each impact into a 30-foot circle of death. Horses are blown apart mid-stride.
Knights in full armor are launched through the air like ragdolls. The formation is now a killing field of craters, screaming animals, and men trapped under dead horses, drowning in mud. Distance, 400 meters. The SEALs switch to rifle fire. Every SEAL is an expert marksman. They're not spraying bullets, they're making shots. Aimed fire at center mass. The medieval knights who've made it this far are the bravest, the strongest, the most skilled warriors France has ever produced. And they're being cut down with surgical precision. A French champion, recognizable by his white plume, makes it to 200 meters. He's dodged bullets, survived explosions, jumped over corpses. He raises his sword and screams a challenge. A SEAL puts 3 rounds through his visor slit. The knight drops like his strings were cut. Distance, 100 meters. A handful of knights, maybe 50 out of 100,000, reach the SEAL line. These are superhuman in their determination. Wounded, horses dead, they're running in full armor, swinging swords. Hand-to-hand combat. This is where medieval training should matter. A longsword master versus a modern soldier. Except the SEALs don't engage in sword fights. They put 2 rounds center mass, 1 in the head. The double tap. A knight's armor stops nothing at point-blank range. The entire battle lasts 11 minutes. When the smoke clears, the field is carpeted with French dead. Historians would later estimate 100,000 casualties on the French side. SEAL casualties? 0. KIA, 3 minor injuries from falling in the mud. Ammunition expenditure? 40% of combat load. The commander radios. Target eliminated, returning to extraction point. But then the timeline shifts. A second wave appears on the horizon. This time, it's every medieval army in history, united by the temporal rift. Mongol horse archers, Roman legions, samurai, Viking berserkers, all coming for revenge. The SEALs look at each other, check their ammo, and one says, "Gentlemen, we're gonna need more bullets." So here's the question for you. What happens next? Option A. The SEALs get reinforced by a single M1 Abrams tank. Can one modern tank hold the line against infinite medieval warriors? Option B. The timeline corrects itself, but now Navy SEALs are scattered throughout history. What if George Washington had SEAL Team 6 at Valley Forge? Vote A or B in the comments. Subscribe and hit the bell, because next week, we're answering the ultimate tank battle question. Can one M1A2 Abrams survive against 1,000 World War II Panzers at Kursk, 1943? Depleted uranium armor versus German 88mm guns. The physics breakdown will blow your mind. Until then, remember, history is written by the victors, but physics doesn't care about your armor. Out.